else is on here?
Okay, dang it. I just accidentally pushed
Jeannie,
stop recording.
I don't know if you go by Jeannie or Tanel, but you're Tanel on Facebook.
There you go. I know. Okay, so we don't want this to go on forever because we want it to, you can either, talk about a couple we're just going to kind of talk about a couple things and then go from there so that other people answer some of the questions that are posted in the group. So, let's talk about a lot of the questions are talking about. But if you have more questions, write it in the chat because we'll probably mute everybody so that it's nice and quiet. Good, so write it in the chat. And if you guys honestly have any little questions, suggestions,
and we will also have a couple minutes.
Feel free to pipe in or comment and ask questions. Just let us know, okay? So for me, okay, I'll just start and then anybody else can go. I'm gone most all day, especially for my clinical. So I have to pack a lunch. So I know how it feels to pack a lunch. Yeah. Sometimes you get super sick. There are way to mute people faster than what I usually. But I think you come to a point where you realize that you're not necessarily eating always just for the flavor. You're eating to get nutrition. Now you unmute yourself. And then get on with your day, I guess. But a couple things that have helped me a ton. I always try to have hard-boiled eggs in the fridge. I'm not touching it. Okay. So that those are super easy. One thing that you guys should all know is that Cozy and I are not professionals. Almonds, protein bars. I try not to eat too many. We're not because it's processed. We are just sharing what we learned. Not why aren't people everything okay. I mean you can't eat you can if you want, but it's really hard to eat 100% raw food all the time. So yeah, sometimes I'll have a protein bar, but I try not to have it every day. Okay, so thank you guys so much for getting on. This webinar is actually kicking off a series of webinars that we are going to be hosting this month as part of a new challenge group. If you have enough, so the webinars are actually going to be exclusively for our customers and some bars. People obviously it always shows the amount of protein that's on the front of the bar, and it could be like 20 grams of protein. And then people are like, "Wow, that's a lot. That's awesome. I'm going to get this one." But then they don't even look, and they all of a sudden see that it has 25 grams of sugar. Obviously, that's not a good bar to choose. Okay. So definitely look at the back. Kind of help you get started. And your body can't always process a ton of protein in one sitting. Weight or tone your body, depending on the person, process it all starts with your food. 20 to 30 grams of protein at a time. So we want to get if you're getting 40 plus grams of protein, it's not really doing your body any good. Absolutely crucial. Another thing, Cozy, when I know me personally, I can't that were posted in that group make my meals for Sunday and have them last all week because I feel like by like Wednesday I'm kind of like so first of all, a basic introduction. So I try to cut up vegetables. Obviously, carrots are super easy. I love the little cherry tomatoes. I usually will take everywhere you look, there's going to be any fruit. We also have to watch not to eat too much fruit. I still struggle with that because I know I eat too much fruit. I love it, but you've got to figure out what be more aware of even eating it earlier in the day, maybe not as much in the evening. Clean eating, the general concept and is that you avoid anybody else have any good ideas for stuff that's on the go? Mainly, we like to do our salads in a jar. Foods that have either been grown in the ground or that walked on the ground or that flew in the air or swam in the water. Like literally greens and vegetables and grains and meat and poultry. Those are I'm with Cozy. I don't like to meal prep. So we avoid things that are packaged, that are processed, that are made by man. In a jar. I read a really funny article one time. She was trying to explain this, and she said, for example, when I'm being really good, you want to eat the things that are made by God. God didn't make Cheetos. God might have made the corn that's in the cornmeal that we use to make Cheetos, but God did not make Cheetos. And when we so that's camping, kind of a fun way to like this think about it as you're trying to with his family out and what's processed and what's not. Uber healthy, and really we took a salad in a jar. Is there, Cozy, do you have a different concept or definition of clean eating since it's very I've never made a salad in a jar. No, I think that's good. I think the main thing is to avoid processed food, stuff that is package and they have to put preservatives in it to keep it good for a long period of time. So, and I think most of us know that, but sometimes.
For real.
It's a pain in the butt to build a salad every day.
There's a couple of things
sometimes it just
that
seems
I
boring.
learned with clean
But if
eating
you're
that I was
hungry
really
and it's
surprised
prepared
about,
and it's right
what
there
I've
and you
always
can see it's just all stacked pretty in
kind
the
of
jar
used
and
as
everything, and you're
guidelines
like,
as
yeah,
I'm trying to help
eating that.
people learn
So
the
we're just
basics
a lot
of
more
clean
likely to get
eating.
our greens in if we do that.
Basically, you
Somebody
avoid
else have
all
any
things
other
white
ideas for on the
and
go
eat
for
brown
people that
instead.
are
This is a
always going?
generalization, but for example,
one of the things that
you
I
don't
do,
eat white rice
because
because
my
it's
schedule for
heavily
work, like,
processed
I won't let
and
them
it's
let
stripped
me
of
work
nutrients.
anything but 12 to 5,
Instead,
Monday
you would
through
eat
Friday.
brown rice,
So I'm
or
gone
even
from the house right in the middle of
better would be
lunchtime.
quinoa because
so
it's
I like
loaded
to
with
mix my
protein
shake
and other
before I
good stuff
go, and
that
I like
rice
to
doesn't
mix
have.
spinach in
But
with my
when you're
shake so I
having
get one of my
rice, if
veggie
you choose
servings.
brown rice over white
Sometimes I'll
rice,
put a fruit in
then
there
it's
too,
a
but I
more
really
whole
like right now
form
because Gala
of
apples are
the
on sale
plant,
pretty much
and you're
everywhere.
getting a lot more
I'll
nutrients.
cut up half an apple and like half a peach and half a banana.
When you use
And I'll
white flour,
just
that is
put them
literally
in
the
Tupperware
most
and sprinkle cinnamon
processed
over
item
and eat them
on the
on my way to
planet.
work.
When you
so
can
fast
buy
and it's so
something
easy
that
and it's
says
really
it's
good.
bleached,
No,
there's a
that
problem with
sounds really
It's
good.
not, your food's not supposed to be
I
bleached.
seriously need to
So
stop
you
eating
use
so much
whole
fruit.
wheat flour
But
instead. The same
it's
goes
just,
for breads.
I don't
You
know.
get whole wheat
Fruit
bread.
just,
You get
for some reason,
whole
fruit
wheat
always tastes so sweet to me.
tortillas,
So, well, like Candace, when
whole
she said
wheat
she hasn't drank
pastas.
or
You avoid the
ate
white pastas.
processed sugars,
What else?
fruit probably tastes. They even have like they have quinoa pastas now. So there's lots of different kinds of pastas that are really good.
I know, me too. It tastes so much
They even
better now
have
than it
different
ever did
types of
before.
like squash
it's
instead
crazy.
of noodles. You can do
Actually,
squash
some of the things
or
too that I'm eating now.
have you heard of those? I call
we
it
went to
veggetti.
Those
We have
or
one on
the
Mondays with
the
our kids. And my
noodles.
son wanted to go to
Yeah,
Orange.
so you
He doesn't care if I
like
take it.
zucchini, you'll
That's
make
what he
noodles
wants.
out of
So we go to Orange
zucchini
Sleep,
instead
and I'm
of
standing
having
there while he's
the
checking out the
noodles. So
flavors of
there's
frozen
just
yogurt,
lots of different
and
ways
there's
you can
one across
change up
the
your
way that
food
said
to
no
make it
sugar.
much healthier.
And I was like, yeah, for sure.
Really?
So there's a
But
lot
then I was like,
of
well, whatever. I'm not like
a lot of
being
swaps that you can make
super
so that
strict
you can
anymore. I'm
still,
just mostly maintaining
eat
it.
your favorite
So I was like,
foods,
okay, I want
your
to try
favorite
that
family
one.
meals
And it was a chocolate.
without.
And I asked him how it was, and this kid was like,
ingesting all of that
I think it's
processed
gross.
chemical.
I think it's bitter.
crap.
That
It
really
really
just
okay,
makes you feel
I want to
terrible.
try it.
So he brings
and
it over
a
to me, and I
big part of the
tasted it,
reason
and I was
why
like, oh my
we want
gosh,
to eat
that is the
clean
best
is
chocolate
because
ice
our
cream I've
bodies
ever
were
had.
not designed to
And he just looked at me like, "Are you for
we
real?"
were not
And I was like,
designed
"Yeah, I'm
to
so
eat
getting some of
chemicals.
that."
They didn't even exist.
No,
when
yeah,
we came
seriously, like
into
stuff that wasn't sweet before
and
is
so that's
so
really a
sweet
big
once
part
you
of why
get rid
we
of
have
that
so many
sugar.
struggles with digestion and
awesome.
weight gain. And I mean, you
Abby
name
always
it,
makes this
our
ice
nutrition
cream.
is
I don't
to
even know
blame.
what it is.
I fully believe that
Out of bananas.
almost every ailment
No,
that
she
we
like
deal
I don't
with
even
in
know.
our
She
culture
does like
today
she'll
is
blend.
caused
Why you
by
just
our
can you just tell them
nutrition.
what you do usually?
So if we go back to the
always-
basics and we stick to
I'm
the
like a
whole
huge
foods,
ice
then
cream
a lot of
freak,
those things
and
that
so
we're battling
probably
can be
every
reversed and we can get back
day
to healthy living.
I just mix up like a scoop of
So
protein.
now that you have kind of our
a
basic
serving
definition, a
of
couple of
fat-free
do's
cottage
and
cheese,
don'ts. We've
and then
already
I'll
gone
sometimes
over
add,
the
like,
white
a tablespoon of
versus
sugar-free
wheat,
coffee creamer,
brown
and I
versus
always
white.
get the
Another
sugar-free
thing
Jell-O
is
pudding
to
packet.
avoid sugar.
Mix
I
it all
know, I said the
together
dirtiest
with like
word.
blend it with ice, and then I just stick it in the freezer
White
for like 30
sugar,
minutes.
granulated sugar
It's
is
ice cream to me.
so heavily
Yeah.
I love
processed.
it. So
It
I have it
doesn't
like every
even
night.
resemble the plant
She
that it
totally
came
does,
from.
but it's
super
it's
heavily
like
processed.
awesome and such an
And
easy
an
way
interesting thing
to
about
get like your
sugar is
sweet
that
fix
it actually absorbs
instead of
nutrients.
giving in
So
to
when you have sugar in your
all the
system,
other stuff that we
anything
think
good
our
that
body
you may have
needs.
eaten, say you have a really
Before we
healthy,
end,
wholesome
I
meal,
think
and then you have a
honestly
slice
for
of
me,
cake,
the number
that
one
sugar
thing
is going to
that
absorb
makes it
all of
easier
those
on me, and
nutrients
it's
from your meal,
probably easier for me
and
because I don't have
you're up a
kids,
crick. Like you might as
and
well be starving yourself.
so I don't
It
have to
is
buy like
really,
treats
really
and snacks for them.
toxic to your body.
But you also
So sugar,
don't
unfortunately,
necessarily.
is
I don't
something
think
to avoid.
kids necessarily
If
need as many treats
you
and
need to
snacks
get
as
your
what we
sweet
think.
fix. I'm
But
kind of the queen
I
of the sweet
literally
tooth,
just
and
try not
I've
to
been
buy any of
off
that crap
of
ever.
processed sugar now.
It's where if
since
I'm like
the
out to
middle of
dinner
May.
or something, then okay,
So
but I
I
don't
can
go
tell
to
you
dinner that
lots
often.
about how to get your
So
sweet fix.
it's
But
just
you can
it's
use
gonna make
honey.
it so much
You
easier
can use
if you
pure maple
don't have it in
syrup.
your
You can
house,
use agave
and then when you
nectar.
come home and all you
Any of
have is
those
healthy
pure
food to
natural
eat,
forms of
obviously you're
sugar
gonna choose
you
something
can
healthy
use
if there's no other
'cause they're not
options.
processed.
So I
Hey,
would
Abby,
say say
How are
one
you,
of the
girl?
number one things is
What
just
else,
not have it
Cozy?
available
What are some other do's and
all the
don'ts?
time. It's gonna make it a lot easier.
I
for
think
you
the
if you don't
sugar,
have
that's the
ice
hardest
cream
one
in
for
the
everybody.
fridge or the freezer.
Do
Well, don't put it in the fridge. Drink
all the time.
lots and
So,
lots of water. They always say
yeah,
to
like,
drink say you weigh 200 pounds, half
We're
of your
kind of to
body
that
weighs
point
100,
with our kids too.
and then
But
you're
where
supposed to
I
drink
only
100
started this
ounces
a
of
few
water
years
every
ago,
day.
and our kids were already
And that's
raised with
almost
fast food.
not
I
putting
think just cutting them off
into
cold turkey,
perspective
but we're
of
still
like how much
right
you're
now
working
where
out,
we don't buy granola bars,
what
or
you're
fruit
doing every
snacks,
day,
or
whether
crackers
you're
and cookies. We don't buy that
mostly
stuff
like
except for
sitting at
occasional
work,
treats.
or if you're going
Or when
nonstop,
we're
you need to
camping,
adjust that.
there's usually a lot of
But they
food
say
when we're
half your
camping.
body weight in ounces.
But we just
Pretty
don't
sure a
have it
lot
in
of
our
us
house.
don't drink enough
Since
water,
I've
and when you
cut off
don't drink enough
processed
water,
sugar,
it's going to affect the way you
back
sleep.
in
It's going to
May,
affect the
we
way
don't
you
even
digest
have
your
white
food,
sugar
your
in the
energy
house
levels.
anymore. Every
So
once in a
as
while, I
Candace
will
is
read a
drinking.
recipe and be in the middle of it and
But-
just remind her, and I'm like,
So water is
I can't make it.
way
How do
more
I do
important
this?
than
And
people,
then I
I think,
remember, I'm like,
even
oh, yeah,
realize.
I know
Avoid
how to
sugary
replace
drinks.
it. I have
Obviously, we all
other
know
options.
to avoid
But sometimes I have
sodas
that
and pop.
instant, like, I'm out of a staple
I personally,
reaction,
for
you
some
know?
reason, I love
But we
soda.
just don't even
So
have
it's like
it.
a
And so when
hard
I'm
thing
cooking,
for
I
me
can't
not
be
to
like,
drink soda,
oh,
and I
it'll be okay in my bread.
try to where I'm like, I
it'll
only
be
have
okay,
soda
you know, in these
ever if
pancakes
I
or
like
whatever.
go out
it's
and
not
eat.
even an option. So
Don't
yeah,
ever
I would
have it in
totally.
your house because
And one thing that
that's just makes it
I
harder.
hear a lot
Sugar,
from
like
moms
even
who are
fruit
starting
juices,
this
all
is,
these fruit juices that
you
you
know,
give your
they'll
kids
start one of these
are
programs
not
with us,
good.
and, like 3 or 4 days in, they'll
if-
message me.
I
And they'll be
know
like, I just can't
that
do this anymore.
some
I'm like,
kids, some
What?
parents have to
Why?
give their
And they're
kids a
like,
little bit of juice,
I
but
can't
water
keep
it down,
cooking
put
2
a
dinners
tiny
and
bit
2
of juice,
lunches
and then
2
fill the
breakfasts
rest
every
with
day. I
water.
can't keep this up. I'm
Just
like, why are
like
you
if you look
cooking
at fruit
2?
juices, it's
And
full
they're
of sugar.
literally cooking a
And
separate
it's
meal for
not
themselves.
necessarily the
And they're
fruit
cooking something else for their
sugar
family
that you
that's
think it
unhealthy.
is. So
And I just want to reach through my
that
phone
would
and
be
be like,
another
what
thing
are you
is water
thinking?
and avoiding sugary
If
drinks.
you want to make this change for you, why would you not want it for your family?
Lacey just posted.
Why would you
a good
not
point
want to
in the
implement
chat.
the healthy changes
Oh,
for
I
them too?
listen.
And I
One
realize
of
one of
gonna
the
be
benefits of
processed
clean eating
and
is
can
you're
go cold
loading
turkey,
your
or they're
body
gonna
up
cut
with
you off and
all
lock you
of
out
the
the house.
vitamins and nutrients that
But
you
why
miss when you're
would
eating
you
a lot
not
of that
want to
processed
slowly
crap.
start implementing
Processed
these
food
healthy
does not have
things
vitamins in
into
it.
their
They say
routine
they
as well,
do,
so that
but being fortified
eventually
with vitamins
they're gonna
is
know
not
how
the
to
same
eat
as
right,
getting it
and they're gonna
naturally.
be able to.
And when
fight
you're
those
eating
cravings
clean,
a
you're
lot
eating
younger
a lot of
than we
greens.
did.
You're eating a lot of healthy
You
fats,
don't
and you're getting
feel like
a
you have
lot
to
of
do this alone.
fiber.
Make it a family affair.
You
Talk
can't
to your family
really
and
dump
dump
a
your
little packet of
concerns
powdered
and your
green
goals and
stuff
ask them
into
if
a
they
glass
will
of water and
help
chug it
you
and say, oh, I
to
had
make
my
this
vegetables
change.
for the day.
And just
You're not
do
getting
it
your
together
fiber
and
that comes
have
with it. The same thing with
plan.
fruit juice.
Follow
It's
a plan
heavy in
so that
sugar.
you're not just
The fruit
loosey-goosey.
itself
It
is
depends
heavy
on
in
your
sugar
mood.
also,
I had a
but
crappy day,
it's
so
combined
whatever. We're just
with
having
the
this.
fiber of the fruit
You know,
itself.
follow a plan.
So that's
and
why
have the
juice
support
by
of your
itself
family, and it'll
is
go a lot easier.
so dangerous for you.
No,
because you have all the
and if you
sugar,
guys check out
but you don't
the
have
chat,
the fiber
Lacey
to
and
help you
Sarah had
process
some
it.
good ideas.
So when you are
Popcorn,
eating
not
a
necessarily
clean,
the
wholesome
theater butter
diet, you're getting
popcorn,
all of that
but
fiber
even
and
if
all of
you
those
pop your
vitamins,
own
and they're
popcorn
going to
and
help
don't
you
put
beat those cravings.
butter and
So
stuff
when
on
you're
it,
like,
your
no
kids don't.
way, I can't go without
Popcorn's
my
popcorn. They're gonna eat it no matter what.
pasta
And
or my
something
bread
crunchy
or
to
whatever
eat
it is,
is
your
sometimes you
body
just want
is gonna
something crunchy,
suddenly
but don't
start
want
to
to
crave
give into
different
chips and
things,
stuff
and
like
you're
that.
gonna start to crave
Frozen
the
fruit.
good stuff because your body's
Sometimes I'll
like, this
freeze
feels
grapes,
really good,
and it's super good.
and your cravings
I love
literally will
grapes,
start to change.
and I feel like sometimes I can eat
I
like
would say within the first week
5 handfuls of them.
really
But when they're
trying to
frozen,
eat
you can't
clean,
eat them
your
fast.
cravings
So,
are going to change. And you're going to start to enjoy
coconut
those
oil on popcorn,
vegetables
that's such a good
maybe you
idea.
used to hate.
Yeah, so stuff
And
like
you're
that
gonna
is just
stop
so
feeling like you
easy,
have
and
to
lots of
have
times
a
your kids
bread
won't even know
with
that you,
every
like Candace said,
single meal.
won't even know that you made
Seriously,
that change.
raise your hand
It's still
if
a
every
treat to
meal
them 'cause
has a
it's
carb.
popcorn.
Pancakes or oatmeal
I
or
do
cereal,
coconut oil on
and
my
then you've got to have a
popcorn that I
sandwich for
put
lunch with a
Himalayan
couple slices
salt
of bread,
and butter
and then you have
flavor
dinner, and there's always
in it.
rolls or breadsticks or
Mm.
something.
It tastes just like buttery
We
popcorn.
literally
Okay, side
ingest
note.
more carbs than we do
Okay,
vegetables.
so I think
Most of
that's
us,
the
if we're
gist
not
of it.
being
That's
conscious
what we've
of
got
it.
for you
So
tonight. It's
your body
kind of a
is
lot to think
slowly
about.
going to start
I
to
would
replace
recommend
those
looking at
cravings
your regular
with
menu.
cravings for
Look at the meals that you
whole
cook
foods that it
regularly
really needs,
and
and giving it.
just
That's
figure
a
out what you
really
can
super
tweak.
What little changes can you make your
powerful
normal meals
tool
to
to
make them a little
realize
bit
that just by
healthier. And
changing your
start with
diet,
that. That's really
your
the easiest
desires
place to
for
start.
what you're eating will change as well.
We are going to
Um,
continue this series within our
One
challenge
thing that
group.
I
So if
heard,
any
I
of
can't remember
you
where
are
I
at
heard
a
it on a
point where you're
podcast or
ready
something.
to, really
Natalie Jill
take
or
your
something, a
nutrition and your
podcast.
fitness seriously,
And she was
then get
talking
in touch
about
with the
how
person who added
sometimes
you
people,
or gave you the link to
it
this
depends on your
webinar,
personality.
and we can give
Sometimes
you the details
people
about the group
can
and the
cut
programs
things
that we
out
use.
cold turkey
We
and
go a
never ever
lot
have
deeper
it,
into our
and
nutrition,
just that
learning
craving will go
portion
away.
control.
Some people have to wean themselves
Because
off
obviously
of
it
it.
doesn't matter
Depends
how
on
healthy your food is. If you're
depends on you.
struggling too
Depends on
much,
how you
you're
are.
gonna have problems.
So she was saying,
So
if
we
you think
go
of
a
it
lot
in this
deeper
way, and
into
it
our
can go in
nutrition, and we're
every
gonna
aspect of
continue,
your life,
these
you
webinars to give you as much value as we can.
instead of
So
thinking
if
for
you
those
would
that
like to be
feel
in one
like
of
they
those
can't
groups,
just
please just get in touch
completely
with the person
cold
who
turkey
invited you
cut
to this
things
webinar.
off, think of it as the more, and Abby and her mom are doing next have so much time in the day. So the more you put, if you're in the group, make sure you continue to ask questions so that they can kind of touch on certain things. And everybody does it differently. If you're going to fill up on fruits and vegetables and some protein, lean proteins, you're not going to have enough room in your stomach. You can tell me and Candace already do. So that's what they always say. Not even right or wrong way to do it. Even with your thoughts and stuff, the more good thoughts that are coming in your head, but there's definitely less room for all the bad stuff. So kind of think of it in that way. Like, anybody have any questions? Just tell yourself, hey, I have to eat all my dinner. I have to eat all my chicken and vegetables or whatever you're eating. Ask questions, and then I can have a little piece of that. And lots of times you're not going to want as much because you're already full. So if you just tell yourself, okay, I know all this good stuff. Okay, guys. Well, and then kind of see if it was cravings or if it was you actually were hungry.
Yes.
Another thing that I heard,
you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for getting on.
Is if you like really like try to listen to yourself. I'm so bad at this. Sometimes when I'm craving something, that's all I want. But they say if you tell yourself, oh my gosh, I'm starving, but then you're like, if you don't want like broccoli and carrots, then you're not hungry. It's a craving. So if you have to think of it in that way, like if all of a sudden you tell yourself you're starving, but that doesn't sound like that would fulfill your, like fill you up, then you're not hungry. So chug a bunch of water or something to try to get that to go away. Something like that. So it doesn't have to be broccoli and carrots, but even just an apple or something. So
yeah, if you're hungry, you'll eat anything.
You'll eat anything if you're absolutely hungry.
Like,
yeah.
Whatever.
I have almonds. Like I always have like almonds in my purse or some type of protein bar in my purse. Something where if I'm starving after clinic or something, I don't want to go through a drive-through. I have something to hold you off. So that helps me a ton to always have something.
I wanted to just really quickly go over some swaps just to give you guys some ideas. I know I talked about a few of them, but condiments, mayo and ketchup and barbecue sauce, they're really not very good for you. Swap them out for spices as you're cooking. Learn how to cook with spices more. I have started using so many more spices than I ever did, and herbs, and you can use as many as you want. One of our favorite ways to eat vegetables, we will chop up just a variety of vegetables and toss them in coconut oil, and then we spread them out on a cookie sheet and we bake them or we roast them in the oven, and we toss them in a homemade version of onion soup mix, and it is literally the best tasting vegetables I've ever had. My family, my kids, my 4-year-old, my 6-year-old just like shovel these vegetables into their mouths. So we've actually started eating vegetables we never would have, like zucchini and squash and cabbage and what else? I don't know, just vegetables that we never ever would have eaten otherwise. So learn to give your food flavor from spices and herbs. Swap out chocolate chips for, I don't know how to say this, cacao nibs, cacao nibs. I'm pretty sure that's how it's said. It's no, it's cacao, C-A-C-A-O. Okay, I don't know how to say it, but they are actually from the cocoa plant, and they're considered superfood. So you get the chocolate flavor, but you're getting like antioxidants and vitamins and minerals up the wazoo while you're eating chocolate chips. I mean, you can't hardly beat that. No. Cozy mentioned replacing like spaghetti. How many of you spaghetti is like a crap, I don't have dinner ready, I'm starving, let's cook spaghetti? When you have kids, it's like a weekly thing. Replace your noodles with spaghetti squash. Just slice it in half, scoop out the guts, put it upside down on a baking sheet and stick it in the oven for an hour. If you don't have an hour, stick it in the microwave. Seriously, like 10 minutes and it's done. If you hate squash, I hate squash. I hated squash. Sick. I'm pretty sure you'll change your mind because spaghetti squash is amazing with a good sauce on it. Sour cream. We all love sour cream. Sour cream by itself is not horrible, but when you're cooking with it and you're putting it in casseroles and stuff, use Greek yogurt, non-fat Greek yogurt instead, because then you're also getting the added protein, you're getting the live active cultures of the yogurt, which really helps you with digestion. So you're getting a lot more bang for your buck, so to speak. And when you're mixing it into things and baking with it, it tastes exactly the same.
Candace, one more before I forget. Abby actually taught me this when she'll like cut up cucumbers or any type of vegetable, and instead of dipping it in ranch, you just sprinkle it with the ranch popcorn seasoning. It's awesome. It gives you that flavor, and it's obviously in the popcorn section where all the seasonings are. You know, they have the butter ones, it's just a powder. So it's a seasoning where that's totally fine. You can season even your vegetables with it, because I love ranch. Ranch is awesome. But ranch is terrible for you. So that's like an awesome way to just mix up your vegetables and season them without getting a ton of extra calories and stuff.
I actually have a ranch that I use that I get at the store. It's Bolthouse Farms. You get it in the refrigerated section by the bagged salads. It's only 35 calories a serving as opposed to 250 for the other ranch. And it's made with yogurt. So it's actually,
that's what I was wondering.
If you're gonna buy store-bought ranch, check the label. Look at what's in it and find one that's made with the most real ingredients that you can find, and you'll be okay. Because obviously, you guys, this is not gonna be an overnight thing. This is not gonna be a decision that you make tonight and from here on out you're 100% clean. I'm still not 100% clean. Seriously, I have been doing this for 3 years now, and there are still days when I have a freaking sandwich with white bread because we're at the in-laws and it's all they have. You know, I mean, it is a process. It is, and it's a journey. It really is. It's a huge change from what our culture teaches us. Our culture is not one to say, you need to be more healthy. Our culture is one to say, anybody want a donut? Right? It's just not our culture. And while it is becoming popular to make healthier choices, it's not a way of life for most people yet. So don't be too hard on yourself. Give yourself some room, cut yourself some slack, and make it a change here and a change there. When we started with my family, I started out with spaghetti, and I didn't go to spaghetti squash because I hate squash. So instead, I just bought whole wheat noodles. And the first time I cooked them, my family hated them. So the next time I cooked them, I did half whole wheat and half white, half regular noodles. And they're like, this is great. They didn't even notice. So gradually over time, eventually I did straight up whole wheat noodles again, and they haven't said a word. They just devour it like nobody's business. So I don't even buy white noodles anymore. I only buy whole wheat, and my family eats them. And now I also cook a squash for myself, and they eat that too. So it's one of those things that you just kind of have to take baby steps sometimes. If it's seeming like a monumental change in your family, don't make it be a cold turkey overnight thing. That doesn't work for everybody. Just start swapping out some things here.
Dang it, I just accidentally pushed stop recording, but hopefully.
Way to go.
I know. Okay, so we don't want this to go on forever because we kind of just want to talk about a couple things each week and then go from there so that other people have stuff to talk about in the group. So let's talk about, a lot of the questions are talking about healthy meals that are fast and on the go, ready or good to do on the go. And if you guys honestly have any suggestions, then feel free to pipe in or comment and just let us know, okay? So for me, okay, I'll just start and then anybody else can go. I'm gone most all day, especially for my clinical, so I have to pack a lunch. So I know how it feels to pack a lunch. Sometimes you get super sick of eating the same stuff every day. But I think you come to a point where you realize that you're not necessarily eating always just for the flavor. You're eating to get nutrition and then get on with your day, I guess. But a couple things that have helped me a ton. I always try to have hard-boiled eggs in the fridge, so that those are super easy protein that you can take on the go. Almonds, protein bars. I try not to eat too many because it's processed, but not everything. I mean, you can if you want, but it's really hard to eat 100% raw food all the time. So yeah, sometimes I'll have a protein bar, but I try not to have one every day.
Lacey has really good advice. If you're going to eat a protein bar, check the label and watch the sugar and carb to protein ratio. You want those to kind of balance out a little bit so that you're not just loading up on sugar. If you have enough protein with it, then you're going to be okay. It's a good snack.
And some bars, people, obviously it always shows the amount of protein that's on the front of the bar, and it could be like 20 grams of protein, and then people are like, wow, that's a lot, that's awesome, I'm going to get this one. But then they don't even look, and they all of a sudden see that it has 25 grams of sugar. Obviously that's not a good bar to choose, okay? So definitely look at the back. And your body can't always process a ton of protein in one sitting. Your body, depending on the person, process 20 to 30 grams of protein at a time. So if you're getting 40 plus grams of protein, it's not really doing your body any good. Another thing, I know me personally, I can't make my meals for Sunday and have them last all week, because I feel like by like Wednesday, I'm kind of like, my food's kind of tasting old. So I try to cut up vegetables. Obviously, carrots are super easy. I love the little cherry tomatoes. I usually will take some of those. And any fruit, but you also have to watch not to eat too much fruit. I still struggle with that because I know I eat too much fruit. I love it. But I'm trying to be more aware of even eating it earlier in the day, maybe not as much in the evening. And does anybody else have any good ideas for stuff that's on the go?
We like to do our salads in a jar. I know you guys have seen those everywhere, but it's really easy to make sure that you get your protein and your greens, and it's just a complete meal. And those are I'm with Cozy. I don't like to meal prep for a whole week. I hate old leftovers, but salads in a jar for some reason are awesome for like 5 days. So that's one thing. When I'm being really good, really prepared, I will put together like 10 jars at the beginning of the week, and my husband and I have a salad every day for our lunches. And when we are camping or we go on a picnic with the kids, or like this weekend, we spent a whole day with his family, and their food usually is not, uber healthy. We took a salad in a jar for each of us to eat, along with, eating some of their food. So we use those a lot.
See, I've never made a salad in a jar, but people do it all the time. So
yeah, we really, really like them. We use them quite a bit. But, the big thing for us is if we didn't have it prepared, we probably wouldn't eat a salad. We wouldn't get enough greens in because, for one thing, it's a pain in the butt to build a salad every day. And for another, sometimes it just seems boring. But if you're hungry and it's prepared and it's right there and you can see it's just all stacked pretty in the jar and everything, then you're like, yeah, I'm eating that. So we're just a lot more likely to get our greens in if we do that.
Yeah. Somebody else have any other ideas for on the go for people that are always going?
One of the things that I do, because my schedule for work, like I won't let me work anything but 12 to 5, Monday through Friday. So I'm gone from the house right in the middle of lunchtime. So I like to mix my shake before I go, and I like to mix spinach in with my shake so I get one of my veggie servings. Sometimes I'll put a fruit in there too, but I really like right now, because Gala apples are on sale pretty much everywhere, I'll cut up half an apple and like half a peach and half a banana, and I'll just put them in Tupperware and sprinkle cinnamon over and eat them on my way to work. It's so fast and it's so easy and it's really good.
No, that sounds really good. I seriously need to stop eating so much fruit, but it's just, I don't know. Fruit just, for some reason, fruit always tastes so sweet to me. So, well, like Candace, when she said she hasn't drank or ate processed sugars, fruit probably tastes perfectly sweet to you. So,
I eat a lot of fruit.
I know, me too. It tastes so much better now than it ever did before.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so-
Actually, some of the things too that I'm eating now, we went to Orange Leaf. We have one-on-one dates with our kids, and my son wanted to go to Orange Leaf. He doesn't care if I can't get anything. It's what he wants. So we go to Orange Leaf, and I'm standing there while he's checking out the flavors of, frozen yogurt. And there's one across the way that said no sugar. And I was like, really? But then I was like, well, whatever. I'm not like being super strict anymore. I'm just mostly maintaining it. So I was like, okay, I want to try that one. And it was a chocolate. And I asked him how it was. And this kid was like, I think it's gross. I think it's bitter. And I was like, okay, well, I want to try it. So he brings it over to me and I tasted it. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is the best chocolate ice cream I've ever had. And he just looked at me like, are you for real? And I was like, yeah, I'm still getting some of that. So yeah, seriously, like stuff that wasn't sweet before is so sweet once you get rid of that sugar.
Yeah, it's awesome. Abby always makes this ice cream. I don't even know what it is.
Out of bananas?
No, I don't even know. She does she'll blend. Can you just tell them what you do usually?
Yeah. I'm like a huge ice cream freak. And so probably every day I just mix up like a scoop of protein, a serving of fat-free cottage cheese, and then I'll sometimes add like a tablespoon of sugar-free coffee creamer, and I always get the sugar-free Jell-O pudding packets, mix it all together with blend it with ice, and then I just stick it in the freezer for 30 minutes. And it's pretty much ice cream to me.
Yeah.
I love it. So I have it every night.
She totally does, but it's awesome and such an easy way to get your sweet fix instead of giving in to all the other stuff that we think our body needs. Before we end, I think honestly for me, the number one thing that makes it easier on me, and it's probably easier for me because I don't have kids and so I don't have to buy treats and snacks for them. But you also don't necessarily, I don't think kids necessarily need as many treats and snacks as what we think. But I literally just try not to buy any of that crap ever. It's where if I'm out to dinner or something, then okay, but I don't go to dinner that often. So it's going to make it so much easier if you don't have it in your house. And then when you come home and all you have is healthy food to eat, obviously you're going to choose something healthy if there's no other options. So I would say one of the number one things is just not have it available all the time. It's going to make it a lot easier for you if you don't have ice cream in the fridge or the freezer. Don't put it in the fridge all the time. So yeah,
we're kind of to that point with our kids too, but where I only started this a few years ago and our kids were already raised with crap food, I couldn't just cut them off cold turkey. But we're to the point now where we don't buy granola bars and fruit snacks and crackers and cookies. We don't buy that stuff except for an occasional treat, or when we're camping. There's usually a lot of crap food when we're camping. But we just don't have it in the house. Since I've cut off processed sugar back in May, we don't even have white sugar in the house anymore. Every once in a while, I will read a recipe and I'll be in the middle of it and I'll see sugar and I'm like, I can't make it. How do I do this? And then I remember, I'm like, oh yeah, I know how to replace it. I have other options. But sometimes I have that instant, I'm out of a staple reaction, but we just don't even have it. And so when I'm cooking, I can't be like, oh, it'll be okay in my bread. Oh, it'll be okay, in these pancakes or whatever. It's not even an option. So yeah, I would totally. And one thing that I hear a lot from moms who are starting this is, they'll start one of these programs with us and 3 or 4 days in, they'll message me and they'll be like, I just can't do this anymore. And I'm like, what, why? And they're like, I can't keep cooking 2 dinners and 2 lunches and 2 breakfasts every day. I can't keep this up. I'm like, why are you cooking 2? And they're literally cooking a separate meal for themselves and then cooking something else for their family that's unhealthy. And I just want to reach through my phone and be like, what are you thinking? If you want to make this change for you, why would you not want it for your family? Why would you not want to implement the healthy changes for them too? And I realize it's going to be a process and you can't go cold turkey or they're going to cut you off and lock you out of the house. But why would you not want to slowly start implementing these healthy things into their routine as well, so that eventually they're going to know how to eat right and they're going to be able to fight those cravings a lot younger than we did. So don't feel like you have to do this alone. Make it a family affair. Talk to your family and tell them your concerns and your goals and ask them if they will help you to make this change, and just do it together and have a plan. Follow a plan so that you're not just loosey-goosey. It depends on your mood. I had a crappy day, so whatever, we're just having this. You know, follow a plan and have the support of your family, and it'll go a lot easier.
No, and if you guys check out the chat, Lacey and Sarah had some good ideas. Popcorn, not necessarily the theater butter popcorn, but even if you pop your own popcorn and don't put butter and stuff on it, your kids don't. Popcorn's popcorn. They're going to eat it no matter what. And something crunchy to eat is, sometimes you just want something crunchy but don't want to give in to chips and stuff like that. Frozen fruit, sometimes I'll freeze grapes and it's super good. I love grapes, and I feel like sometimes I can eat like 5 handfuls of them, but when they're frozen, you can't eat them fast. So yeah, coconut oil on popcorn, that's such a good idea. Yeah, so stuff like that is just so easy, and lots of times your kids won't even know that you, like Candace said, won't even know that you made that change. It's still a treat to them because it's popcorn.
I do coconut oil on my popcorn, but I put Himalayan salt and butter flavor in it.
Yeah.
It tastes just like buttery popcorn. Okay, side note. Okay, so I think that's the gist of it. That's what we've got for you tonight. It's kind of a lot to think about. I would recommend looking at your regular menu. Look at the meals that you cook regularly and just figure out what you can tweak. What little changes can you make to your normal meals to make them a little bit healthier? And start with that. That's really the easiest place to start. We are going to continue this series within our challenge group. So if any of you are at a point where you're ready to really take your nutrition and your fitness seriously, then get in touch with the person who added you or gave you the link to this webinar, and we can give you the details about the group and the programs that we use. We go a lot deeper into our nutrition, learning portion control, because obviously it doesn't matter how healthy your food is. If you're shoveling too much, you're gonna have problems. So we go a lot deeper into our nutrition, and we're gonna continue these webinars to give you as much value as we can.
Yes.
So if you would like to be in one of those groups, please just get in touch with the person who invited you to this webinar.
And Abby and her mom are doing next week. So if you're in the group, make sure you continue to ask questions so that they can kind of touch on certain things. And everybody does it differently. So that's why it's fun to have the perspective of different people. Obviously, you can tell me and Candace already do differently. There's not necessarily a right or wrong way to do it. You kind of just have to fit it into your life and your lifestyle. But there's definitely things you probably want to avoid. So do anybody have any questions? Or we can just end it, and then you can ask questions to whoever sent you to this. You guys good? I know. Okay, guys. Well, we will. Thanks for hopping on. You're welcome.
Thanks for getting on, Donna.
Yes. Okay.
Hey,
bye, guys.
You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for getting on.